At Drummond Golf, we understand your passion.
Nice roll.
And that's because every Drummond Golf store is owned and run by a local who loves the game as much as you do.
Yeah, it's come off the face really well.
Someone who knows where you play and what you need.
Oh yeah, looking good.
With Australia's biggest range and expert knowledge.
Great. Now let's try that putter with this grip.
So if you want to improve your game, see a local expert at Drummond Golf.
I've never seen anything like it before, and to attempt to hit the ball out of there is pure madness.
The winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Cameron Smith.
This is the one that I've always wanted to win since I was a little kid. So it just feels pretty amazing to be able to get it done today.
It's amazing that it's my destiny to be the first Aussie to win. Just incredible.
Hello and welcome to Playing from the Tips for the first time in 2024 and the 46th episode overall of the Preview and Tipping Golf podcast presented by Golf Australia magazine. I'm your host, Jimmy Emanuel, and returning freshened up and recharged in the new year in the ongoing pursuit of tipping winners and giving you all the action from around the world of professional golf, all the while trying to rein in Golf Australia's so-called experts. Speaking of them, let's bring them in now with firstly Australian Golf's preeminent weekly columnist, I think it's a field of one, and podcast royalty, lovable curmudgeon and currently shoeless Rod Murray. Rod, welcome, and can you go and put some shoes on, please?
Thank you very much. And no, I can't. I'm still in holiday mode, which I suspect
you got a day off
lots of people are. Well, what are we, 2 weeks into it? Well, it's third tournament of the year on the PGA Tour already, and I don't feel like the year's started yet. So.
Well, we haven't started, so it hasn't started.
Yeah,
I'm sure they were waiting for us.
You know, people wear shoes on holidays as well.
Well, I've not been a holidayer in the past. I didn't wear shoes on holidays, and I've really taken to it.
Okay, that might be a change for 2024.
Yeah, get used to it. Who knows what else will come off as the year progresses.
Next is Australian Golf's winningest tipster from 2023. I speak, of course, of the left field thinking, movie reviewing, safari suit wearing Adrian Logue. Logue, did you get a mug or anything for Christmas that said Golf's best tipster?
No, I didn't.
Well,
no, I didn't. Actually.
You didn't?
Yeah.
You need to talk to your children about that.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have one made.
Is it a safari suit or a leisure suit?
It's whatever you want it to be.
It's a safari suit.
Which is more offensive, Logue's safari suit or my no shoes policy?
That answers itself.
Neck and neck, isn't it?
No, it is not even a close race. This week, we go around the world, as always, as we look at the Webex Players Series Murray River on the Challenger PGA Tour of Australasia, the American Express on the PGA Tour, Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions on the LPGA, and Hero Dubai Desert Classic on the DP World Tour. But before we go ahead into this week, as you mentioned, Rod, we have been off the airways, but tournament golf has resumed. PGA Tour has been in Hawaii for 2 weeks. DP World Tour has started its Desert Swing, and the Aussie Tour got underway at their Heritage Classic. Plus, Tiger Woods left Nike. Has there been any highlights, lowlights of anything that's happened so far?
Well, the first two winners on the PGA Tour in 2024, I don't think this means anything, but both recovering alcoholics.
Yeah.
Is there anything in that? Chris Kirk and Grayson Murray?
I was combing the field this week for more drunks. Because I did pick up on that trend as well.
Well, Grayson Murray talked about Chris Kirk being a bit of an inspiration for him. Grayson Murray also, since Rory McIlroy reportedly said to him in that player meeting, play better, has won twice around the world. So good on you, Grayson.
Yeah, good on you, Grayson. How was the vibe between him and Ben Arn, who famously had a bit of racism dust up 5-6 years ago about the World Golf Rankings, if I'm not mistaken? So that would have been an interesting group to be in.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It was a good week last week, well, not for Rory, who had a 3-putt from 2 feet, but three-way playoff.
Did he have a quadruple bogey or earlier in the tournament or something as well?
And
he did everything he possibly could to lose that event and did manage to achieve that.
And then still got to the last hole and was still leading and went, I'll just hit one in the water just for good measure and Tommy can try and go from there. And also, big shout-out to Matt Griffin, who won for the first time in 8 years.
Wow.
61 course record on day one. And a huge shout-out to Heritage Golf and Country Club, who got a tournament on after the golf course was flooded on Monday.
You were there,
really?
weren't you?
I was there. I was commentating on the weekend. So I arrived on the Friday. I was given my yardage book, and Heath McLeod from the tour drew in on the second hole where the high water mark was. You cannot believe how far back up the fairway that was. It was 152 metres to the front edge. So give you an idea, the water's about 30 short of the green.
Wow.
And they had it playable, and not only playable, but playable without preferred lies.
Unsung heroes of the golf world, course supers and greenkeepers, and it seems to be at almost every... It doesn't matter where you go where this happens. Somehow, the team at that course always manages to make it work. They are all unbelievably
Needed
good
to
at what they
rebuild
do.
every bunker on the golf course.
Extraordinary.
Wow, they're not flush with funds either at Heritage. There's
It's just pride in their work. It really is.
Yeah,
Shout out to every course superintendent.
Every course superintendent who goes through that stuff. But when you got a tournament week on as well, like they had to play Monday qualifying over 2 days.
Television coverage and all of that. Oh,
Exactly.
wow.
Exactly.
Brutal week.
Let's get on to this week's golf. And first, we're going to stay local with the first Webex Players Series event of the year. These are the rebranded Players Series on the local tours here in Australia. Men and women competing side by side for the one trophy, one prize, and all that sort of stuff. This time, Cobram Barooga's old course along the mighty Murray River, the host. Ranked 90th in the country's top in the top 100 public access courses. The old was the work of Sloane Morpeth and has undergone some changes in recent years, including turning the old uphill 18th that was the biggest pain when you were playing in a hot Murray summer and having to go up a 45-degree incline. It's now a short par 4.
Nice.
So that was nice.
Yeah, good thinking.
But things are really setting in, and last year it was sort of showing its best. Third time this event has been played. 2 women as the past champions, Hannah Green and Sarah Jane Smith. And the women's contingent this year has grown significantly on the back of a successful tour school run by the WPGA Tour of Australasia. So full shout out to Karen Lunn and her staff, particularly Jimmy Nichols, for their work to get that done. Hannah Green won't be there because she's getting married this weekend. To Jarrod. So congratulations to the Greens, because as I keep saying to Jarrod,
Green.
that the better player keeps the name, and so he will be now Jarrod Green.
He's seriously going to stop talking to you soon.
He made the joke himself actually on the weekend at the Heritage, and he said, "Give me your best shot." And he goes, "Oh, last tournament is a Felton," so he at least sees the humour. But Sarah Jane Smith will be there to defend her title. Good field with plenty of tour winners from this season on the men's side, including Matt Griffin. But Asian Tour Q School's final stages on this week, so that takes away a number of the regulars that you're getting used to seeing. But worth keeping an eye on this week. Griffin himself, of course, Ben Eccles, Daniel Gale, Momoka Kabori, Kelsey Bennett. Double Kaboris. Kazuma will be there as well.
Kabori squared.
Kabori squared, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kazuma played well last week. Cax, as he's known.
Oh.
Don't know how you get a nickname like that, but he's a nice guy, Kazuma. But really good field, actually. And we're going to get our first real good look at the WPGA Tour members for this year. They unfortunately had the Latrobe Melbourne International cancelled last week because that course couldn't come back from the flooding. So
it's about 70 women.
I believe so. Yeah. So this is the most.
Decent, yeah.
This is the best filled,
really good
women's side of these events since they've been in existence. Let's get some tips on this one. Logue, let's start with you.
I'm tipping Aaron Wilkin, who's a perennial Pro-Am winner.
He is, yeah.
And but almost 10 years on tour, I think now, and I think it's time for him to win something a bit bigger, step up and win something a bit bigger
than the Queensland PGA won a couple of years ago.
Well, it's thereabouts.
Okay, okay.
But it's time again for him to step up to something a bit bigger, and I think he's been showing some good form as well.
He has, yeah, absolutely. Really good ball striker, Aaron Wilkin. I like watching him play. Rod?
You've got such an advantage here, Jimmy, because you get to go to these events and see these people up close, whereas the rest of us are kind of operating on names and what we know about them, many of them we don't know. But I had a look through the field, I had a look at the results from last week, and Brett Coletta stands out a bit. Was described a few years ago by one of Australia's top coaches as pound for pound the best hitter of the ball he'd seen. He's had his issues since then, Brett, but he is an unfulfilled talent, you feel. And you'd think it's got to happen for him at some point. So, yeah, I'll go with Brett Coletta this week.
One of the 2 players Jeff Ogilvy said to me should realistically be top 50 players in the world on talent, he and Todd Sinnott.
Yeah, I remember watching him in the opening round of the New South Wales Open as an amateur some years ago. Wasn't at Dubbo, wasn't the women's New South Wales Open. But I think he shot 62 around Stonecutters Ridge. And I've played Stonecutters Ridge. You guys, that's just not feasible. Not feasible at all. Yeah. He just ripped it apart. Really
savage dog that was there when we had a game there?
Yeah, that was brutal.
I couldn't wait to get off the course. Yeah. That was absolutely terrifying.
It really was. The thing was frothing at the mouth. Yeah. It had rabies. It was terrible.
On about the 16th hole or something. We were a long way from the clubhouse too.
Help was a long
seriously
way away.
worried.
Well, I was worried last week at Heritage. The number of kangaroos. So I went to walk the course on Friday afternoon with my yardage book to take my notes and everything for the weekend, and it was towards the end of play, so there was not a lot of action. So the kangaroos had all come out. There was thousands of them, and if something sets them off, they go across the fairway, and it is danger.
They're pretty territorial too. You don't want to get too close to those big ones.
Yeah, well, that's right. The little ones come have a look,
Really
and then the big
scared
one
too.
comes for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to tip Kabori.
Okay.
Which one?
Intentionally. I have said Kabori there.
You can't-
I'm going to take Kazuma. I think Kazuma's going to win something soon. He's a very impressive player, and so I think he gets over the line.
Brings its own pressure though too, doesn't it? We all keep talking about him, and it makes it harder again when you're under that sort of scrutiny.
Yeah.
It's all part of the deal. You've got to get used to it, but it does make it harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good over 3 rounds.
Yeah, he's failed to really put together a 4-round, except for when he won in New Zealand a few years ago. But
we're a bit harsh sometimes, aren't we? You've got to learn this craft as a golfer. There's very few the Jordan Spieths and the Rorys and the Tigers who just seem to have the knack when they most golfers, and that's why golfers used to say in their 30s is when they played their best golf, because they had 10 years or so to learn the craft. It takes time. Got to give people time.
There was a great opportunity again last week for, firstly, Quinn Croker, who played with Matt Griffin for 2 rounds, but Jack Carter and Josh Greer, who played with him for across the last 2 as well, to learn what it's like to do it.
Yeah.
You know, Quinn Croker has every tool that we talk about to be a successful touring pro. He's carrying the ball past where Matt Griffin's driver ends up, but Matt Griffin dusted him, and so you're getting a lesson that helps a lot on the way. Next, let's head stateside and the PGA Tour, and Rod, you're going to take us through the American Express.
Well, no sponsor spotlight because I think it's fairly obvious what American Express does. But what I did want to point
Bus
out,
transfers in America.
this used
Fast
to be,
ones.
This used to be the Bob Hope. So people will remember it as the Bob Hope. It used to be the tournament was played over 5 rounds. They'd shoot those ridiculous scores of 30 and whatnot out in the desert. It's a Pro-Am format, so 3 of the 4 rounds are Pro-Am. So you get pretty easy pins. They've got to get the fields around. 3 courses, pretty easy pins. The pros just eat this up. Summer in California or lovely weather, so it's not everybody's liking the Celebrity Pro-Am deal, so you tend to, or you have over the years, like I think Tiger's never played this event. Never been really a fan of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am either. But in this new world order, there's I think 22 of the world's top 50 are teeing up. People are really jockeying for positions to get into those signature events, and so
Absolutely.
Nobody understands the criteria of that, I don't think. So it's just play and hope that you get the email that says you're in, and if you can get in, you're doing well. 3 courses, as I said, the Jack Nicklaus Tournament course at PGA West, the La Quinta Country Club and the Pete Dye Stadium course at PGA West. Look, it's resort golf, so architecturally it can be a bit gimmicky in places. I think the 17th on the stadium course, most people remember Jason Duffner hitting that chip shot from the rocks. It's the island green surrounded by rocks.
And the par 5 with the big bunker on the left.
The huge 19-foot deep bunker, you'll see lots of, from the practice round, lots of pictures and stuff. So, look, I suppose that's a bit gimmicky, but, it is what it is. They don't find much in the way of barriers to scoring here. I think only once at less than 20 under. That's one thing. That was back in 2017, so you'd have to think something happened that year with rain or whatever. It'll be quintessential PGA Tour golf. A birdie first, lots of smolch on the TV coverage. Having said that, like all golf tournaments, they end up being interesting come the back 9 Sunday. So who knows? John Rahm won it last year. It was his 2nd win. He won't be back, of course. He's now a live player. But the field's actually pretty good. Scheffler isn't playing, world number 1. Justin Thomas and Patrick Cantlay. There's probably the headliners. Wyndham Clark, Shane Lowry, Xander Schauffele and Ricky Fowler. So lots of names that people are interested in to be able to follow. And, of course, what field would be complete without Michael Block?
Oh, Blocky.
Yeah, Blocky got an invitation.
Good on him.
Good on him. I think
He didn't get an
he's
invitation.
somewhere there.
He gets a start here by winning the Southern Californian Club Professional
He's
Order of Merit.
earned his way on.
So I retract.
So he's
That's
played
what-
this event a
exactly.
couple of times, actually.
I retract, Blocky. You did earn your way in, so my apologies for that. So well done. Australians in the field. Battley, Cam Davis, Jason Day, Harrison Endicott, and Min Woo, who I think we'll all be watching with interest. Not sure whether this sort of golf suits Min Woo. It'll be interesting to see.
First start really is a proper start as a PGA
Proper start
Tour
on
member.
PGA Tour and comes with a lot of hype. He's one of those rare ones who, the TV people will be interested in him. There'll be lots of stories. He's open to that. He enjoys all that sort of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Tips?
Also, a new clothing sponsor for Minwoo.
Yes, Lululemon.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I didn't know they made golf apparel.
Yeah, I've
for men.
had some in the past.
Have you?
Yeah,
There you
quite
go.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Not my area.
Yeah, I remember,
actually.
you had some
Yeah.
Lululemon pants, if
Yeah.
I recall.
I do, yeah.
It was a nice pant.
Yeah, it's a good pant.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's a nice pant. Little hidden zipper pocket. Anyway, tips. Logue.
Let me know when you finished. I'm out of my depth here.
JT Poston is my tip.
Oh, nice.
Coming off a couple of top 10s.
Couple of really good weeks, yeah.
There's good form there. I think he's in that second tier of players. There's a lot of very good players for him to overcome this week, but these early weeks in the tour, it's where
and it's not necessarily the sort of golf that the very best players like.
It's a birdie fest.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the quintessential
It's a genuine
PGA
birdie
Tour.
maker.
He's a quintessential PGA Tour player. Good tip. I like it.
Thank you.
All right. Rod?
I'm going with Eric Cole.
Nice.
The veteran rookie of the year.
Yeah,
He's
I
just
love it.
Great, fabulous year last year. He's got to win something at some point soon. Why not here? He's the quintessential PGA Tour player as well. And good luck to him this week.
I'd say on my side, I think Daniel Berger's half a chance as he makes his return. This is the sort of
that
place
name
where
stands out. Yeah.
But I'm going to go with an Australian because why not? I'm going to go with Jason Day.
Yep.
Kind of didn't have his best stuff on the last day of the century, which I saw a little bit of, and he, I think he seems really committed this year to doing something and climbing up those rankings.
You know what he's got? He's got hunger.
He has got hunger.
He's got the look of
And new
2016 Jason Day, hasn't he?
Yeah. Scrap the clothes. But yeah, that looked absolutely terrible. But
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Talent doesn't disappear, does it?
It's not very
Form
good.
does,
Absolutely.
but talent doesn't, and he's got oodles of it.
it's no Lululemon, those.
Malbon.
Yeah, not as good apparel.
Apparel. Yes. Clothiers.
They signed another couple this week. Didn't Charlie Hull sign with them?
Yes,
This
she
week,
did,
and
yeah.
somebody else.
And there was
another-
someone else as well, yeah.
Another one of the other leading women players. I can't remember who it was.
Interesting to see
my
if it's baggy. I don't know.
Yeah.
The kids like that these days. Anyway.
You know the feeling when your mate's golf ball flies past yours? Or when you're on the green in regulation, but he holds it from the bunker? At Drummond Golf, we get it. That's why we have our lowest price guarantee. As Australia's biggest, you can count on our massive buying power for the lowest prices in golf. But if you do happen to find a lower advertised price, we'll beat it. The Drummond Golf lowest price guarantee. Unbeatable. Conditions apply.
Logue, let's hear from you and the Hilton Grand Vacations LPGA Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, that's right. Or the Tournament de Champions, as
Tournament
they would
de
call it in
Champions, yeah.
France.
Oh, we're not going to
Absolutely.
go. Put an end to
Glad that made it through the break.
It's at Lake Nona, and I'll come back to Lake Nona and its titular lake in a moment.
Yes.
But firstly, I'm sure you want to know about Hilton Grand Vacations.
I do.
Actually do.
They're a premier vacation ownership and experiences company, which I'm going to be honest sounds like a scam.
Cool. Wow.
Designed to suck people in. It's one of those like free seminar type of things, like how to
It's a timeshare type deal.
and a holiday home investment. Yeah, okay. So stay away.
If you're with Wheels
Is my
on or
advice.
NetJets, it's exactly the sort of timeshare you might be looking for. So
It could be. But anyway, on to the tournament, and it's one of, again, a big Pro-Am week. This is another insufferable sort of Pro-Am
it's time of year
played
for it.
alongside
Get it out of the
celebrities.
way before the real golf
There's more
starts.
celebrities than players in this event, actually. And the players qualify by they take in the winners from the previous 2 seasons. Yep. Brooke Henderson is the defending champion, and she's turning up again. Some other notable players in the field. Well, actually, it's a very good field. There's Lydia Ko, Lilia Vu, Nelly Korda, Ronin Yin, Ayaka Fue, one of your favourites, Rod. Amy Yang's in the field. I really like her chances. I think resurgent Amy Yang is good to see. Charlie Hull, aforementioned Charlie Hull. We'll see what apparel she's wearing. And I know you're probably more excited to hear about the celebrities.
I mean, yeah.
Well, headlining the celebrities is NBC's own Dylan Dreyer, who apparently does the weather on the Today Show in
Double D.
hour 3.
Yeah, double D. Good work.
The former Bachelor contestants Wells Adams and Ben Higgins, country music star Chris Lane, soccer legend Landon Donovan.
I know Landon Donovan. I'll cop that.
Is he a legend?
Of American soccer, sure.
Jimmy's heard of him.
Yeah.
Okay. 8-time
He comes to the meetings.
All-Star, 8-time NBA All-Star Vince Carter, who I can...
Yeah, absolutely.
Vince Carter's all right. And Annika Sorenstam is playing in the celebrity...
As a celebrity.
Oh,
is that a backhand?
Also...
That's a... I'm surprised she actually... Well,
she's pulled this before.
She lives at Lake.
She lives at Lake.
She lives at Lake Nona. So
with fellow resident Frank Nobilo.
Really, exactly. Frank Nobilo is a member as well. nothing to lose, I guess, for Annika Sorenstam. She can try and put up really good numbers, although celebrities play Stableford, so we'll see how that goes.
She can win a toaster.
There was a controversy in this tournament last year. If you recall, they didn't have lockers. There was some sort of a storm ran through the clubhouse, and there was no private facilities for the players. And they had to ship in some temporary lockers. But even then, they didn't have private restrooms, and they had to share everything with, like, the riffraff, like, just with people.
The proletariat.
You'll be happy to know that that's been fixed.
Okay,
for this
is a
this year's event. The golf
anything
course
about golf in this?
Lake Nona, Tom Fazio design, typical Florida test of execution. We've seen it before. This is the 6th time it's been at this venue for this event. It's one of those courses as a reputation amongst your bag tag Barry types. This is the ultimate sort of one for them to get on, and it's that combination of it being very difficult golf. It's very difficult test of golf for the average golfer. It's expensive. There's exclusive with all the PGA and LPGA members.
Yeah, lots of pros live in these.
Used to be the place that played against Isleworth in the Tavistock Cup.
Correct.
Also home of Graham McDowell's restaurant, Nona Blue. I don't know if it's still there, but...
And exquisite conditioning as well. The titular Lake Nona comes into play on lots of holes, and there's bunkers running along the shoreline in that classic sort of Florida tradition of architectural unnecessary double hazards.
Long par 3 along the water where you got to hit it through a tree chute.
There's all that. Yep.
Yeah.
Got everything.
It's got it all.
Tick them off.
So a test of execution, and I'll tell you who can execute is my pick, Alison Corpuz.
Okay. Sure can. And also just make a mention that you've missed in the only Australian in the field is Grace Kim.
I didn't even look that up. But yes. Grace Kim. I did notice Grace Kim was in the field.
Yes. Who gets
courtesy
the
of her win.
rich deserves of winning in Hawaii last year, which they don't actually return to Hawaii till late this year for some reason. So, but yes, congratulations, Grace.
Much and motivated too. I saw the story with her last week. One of your colleagues might have done it about she's got her eyes set on the Olympic team.
Well, I was with her in Hawaii as part of this Adidas thing a week or so ago, and she's very much talking Olympics and
really interesting
everything like that.
Different personality to most professional golfers.
Absolutely.
And I was a bit surprised how early she had success, but that's telling. I think she could do really good things. Great player.
Yeah,
really good.
Absolutely. Rod, a tip?
Nelly Corder didn't win last year, which is just shocking. So obviously they take the winners from the last 2 years. 5 starts here, 5 top 5 finishes. She's got to win at some point, doesn't she? So you'd have to think it'd be a good way for her to start this year after what could only be described as a disappointing year last year for her, I would have thought.
Plays really well in Florida too.
You feel like
Florida
she grew up
born
on these sort of
all this
courses.
Stuff.
Yeah.
This is really in her wheelhouse.
I'm going to go with Charlie Hull.
Yeah.
You know, that new clothing sponsor boost. But Charlie Hull was really, really good last year. Like, really impressive. Seemed to really... And then I've seen that she's been working hard in the UK in the awful cold, whatever, winter. So she's obviously committed to making a good start. And I think she plays pretty well down in Florida as well. It kind of suits her. So let's go, Charlie.
It's about where her head's at, isn't it, week to week, Charlie? There's times when she's just... And she's admitted herself, she just gets bored on the golf course and goes drifting off and nothing happens. When she's engaged, she's one of those players you want to watch. She's electric, does really good stuff.
Finally, let's go to the Middle East. And Rod, you're going to tell us about the Hero Dubai Desert Classic.
Now, I think we've probably all heard of Hero because, of course, Hero sponsored Tigers tournament, always have, and I always kind of knew they made motorbikes in India. That's what I knew, and that is the case. But they're the world's biggest two-wheel motor vehicle manufacturer.
Correct.
In India, I believe they just call motorbikes Heroes.
Yeah, they're like 46% of the market or something.
It's like a Hoover or something.
A lot of scooters and small engine motorcycles and all that sort of stuff. So, look, interesting kind of company. They've had their issues with tax problems and whatnot recently, but we'll leave all of that aside. Tigers, their global ambassador, which is I always thought was a really interesting kind of. Nobody knows why they're so into golf. I don't get the sense that the two guys who own the company are golf nuts. The guy that's
in charge does love it.
He is the golf nut.
Dr. Pajwan, I can't remember his surname.
Majali?
Yeah, who hit an accidental skimming shot in the Pro-Am last week in Dubai.
Oh, he was there? Okay.
Yeah, he was playing in the Pro-Am for the DP World Tour and hit just an awful golf shot that skimmed across the water and got up on the green.
The joys of amateur golf. Am I imagining, or are we seeing more of this Pro-Am type thing, the sort of thing we saw in Dubai last week? That was just basically a bit of a party for a rich guy in Dubai who knows all the golfers. Why don't we just put on a tournament for 60 people? Yeah. No cut. Are we seeing more of that, or am I imagining it?
Well, that was Pro-Am only.
It was a one-off thing, but yeah, interesting.
Yeah, don't know.
Anyway, we'll see. So that's Hero. Everybody, of course, is familiar with the Dubai Desert Classic. Started in 1990 in what was the middle of the desert, now played basically in the middle of a city. We'll see lots of those photos this week for people who've been going there for a long time. What it's developed into. Look, the course itself, it is resort, but it really is set for this sort of tournament. Lots of very aerial sort of golf here, lots of bunkers in front of greens, water carries, that sort of stuff that us recreational golfers tend to struggle with. Doesn't bother the pros so much, but looks sort of good on TV. It's probably the most recognisable course in it. It was the first grass course in the Middle East. It's a Carl Litton design, works with Gary Play. You can't find a lot of information about Carl Litton. He doesn't have a website, which is interesting.
Okay.
He gets mentioned on lots of others, so I couldn't find a whole lot about it. It's probably best known for the view from the 8th tee. We'll see plenty of that this week. It's the high tee with the city in the background. And then the par 5 18th where there's lots of drum. McIlroy dumped one in the water here a couple of years ago to miss out on a playoff. There was some magnificent Monday morning quarterbacking that year about whether he should have hit the shot or not. Last 3 holes here are good, so the finish is always interesting. The 17th is 360 yards, 330 odd metres, but it is kind of drivable in the right wind for lots of players. Lots of trouble up around the green, so you tend to see some swings late in the tournament. Decent field. McIlroy is back. And Tommy Fleetwood, who topped him last week, as you mentioned. Australians in the field. Adam Scott, he's playing here for just the 4th time. He's putting together an interesting schedule this last couple of years, isn't he, Jimmy? He's turning up in places we're not used to seeing Adam.
Yeah.
Which is, and this is one of them. So he's only played here 3 times before, which is unusual for a player of his standing. He would have been, I imagine, would have had offers on the table every year to play here had he wanted to, but hasn't chosen to. So interesting to see what's there.
Ended last year, played a little bit less, of course, because he missed the last couple of weeks of the playoffs on the PGA Tour. So
first time in his career?
Yeah. Correct, yeah.
Interesting. Jason Scrivener and Dave Micheluzzi, the other Australians in the field. It'd be really interesting to see.
Dave won't be getting in this week.
No. He's listed in the field.
He's beyond the cut-off point.
Oh, right, okay.
Suggest to you.
I've missed the red line when I spotted his name and searched for his name. That's my fault.
Perfectly understandable mistake.
Can happen, that's exactly. Can happen to
happens to the worst
best
of us.
That's exactly right.
It can also happen to the best.
I'll draw that. And look, I'm in charge of the editing here, so I can just take that out. That's like it never happened.
I mean, he's about, what is he?
He's a long way down the
He's
cut-off.
about 11th, so he's going to need some help. But
look, if there was a dinner somewhere where there was some dodgy seafood, he's a chance.
I know he played the Peninsula Kingswood Pro-Am yesterday, so he's not there ready to go.
Sorry about that, Dave. Best of luck to you this week. Is he playing down at
No.
No, I didn't see him in the field there, which is why I went searching for him.
No, he'll have 3 weeks in a row on the DP World Tour from next week, so he's having a rest this week.
This is always a good tournament in terms of a tournament. It's this time of year. It's the start of the season. I'm not a great fan of this time of year with the desert golf in both tours.
Desert golf.
I like the desert golf in DP World Tour.
You're a big desert golf guy, right?
No, I'm not a big desert.
He's a big Bangladesh Open guy, and he hasn't recovered. They didn't play it last year, so he hasn't recovered.
We're hoping to get it back this year. It was a bit of luck. Asia's major. I'm tipping. Is it Tristan or Tristan Lawrence? I think it's Tristan, isn't it?
Yeah. Well.
Played well last week. Played here a couple of times before. Plays okay. And why wouldn't you? Just go with Tristan. Because the obvious pick is Rory, 3-time winner. I think he's had 13 starts, top 10, 11 of those or something crazy. Just mad how good Rory is on this course. So you'd have to think he'll be a chance. But I'll go with Tristan, the South African.
Logue?
I just want to point out how close the name of this tournament could be to the Dubbo Desert Classic if you wanted to go there, Rod.
Well, of course, the problem being that Dubbo's not a desert. But apart from that, it's up there with my Micheluzzi call.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, all right.
It's not a women's tournament.
Rory is the obvious pick. I'm going to leave it alone, though, and go with Tyrrell Corporation, Tyrrell Hatton.
What's the Tyrrell Corporation? What is that about?
It's the evil entity in Blade Runner.
Oh, okay.
They made the replicants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyrrell Corporation.
Tyrrell.
That's my pick.
Didn't Nicholson call him Tyrrell?
I don't know. It reads Tyrrell if you ask me. Do you know it's RRL in his name? And with a TY as well. Yeah.
He prefers Tyrrell, I think. So we'll call him that. I will go with Rory because all of the stuff you've mentioned. And someone has to win, and it's going to be me and Rory. So,
yeah.
And
good luck with that.
It was a pretty good result for not playing.
Very hard to see Rory not winning this week, honestly.
Exactly. That's why you pick it, because then you're trying to pick the person who wins the tournament. We're trying to give the listeners some guidance.
But
okay. All right. Also worth mentioning that by the time you listen to this episode, the Adidas Australian Amateur will be underway at Yarra Yarra and Keysborough golf clubs in Melbourne. And if you're in that area, get down, because some of the great rising talent from here and around the world are there playing those two courses. Men and women again together at the same time, all stroke play these days.
Who are we watching out for, Jimmy? You stay in touch with these things much more than I do these days.
I mean, Phoenix Campbell is the absolute standout, I would suggest, given he won last week at the Master of the Amateurs. He's won on the tour here at the Queensland PGA. He's a member of Yarra Yarra. Just that all makes a lot of sense, but Jasper Stubbs, Augusta bound to Jasper Stubbs. And then last week's runner-up at Heritage Classic, Quinn Croker, who said to me during the final round, "Oh, we've got to hurry up. I've got a 7 a.m. practice round tomorrow morning." So he is, go and watch him play golf. And he'll talk to you if you're walking down the fairway.
Why is it Jai Picken and a few of the other guys who are playing the Webex event? Why are they not
sure.
playing the Australian Open?
Yeah, they're making a choice.
Jai Picken would be genuine chance in this.
Yeah, I would have thought so, but yeah,
you don't
not
get
sure.
too many shots at winning your national amateur. Either.
No, that's true.
But it also, frankly, does not do for you what it used to do for you. I mean, they're pros in waiting, these guys, and many of them will be a career choice, I would think. They think the experience of playing in a professional event is going to do more for them in the longer term than playing the... It's a shame, and it's sad, but I think you're finding the same thing with even the US amateur and some of the bigger amateur events. There's players going, look, there's money or offers or potential starts on the table. You know, you might be a chance at winning the amateur, but there's no guarantees. You're better off to get the experience of what you think you're going to be doing every week for the next 30 years. Okay. It's a tough sort of spot to be in some ways. That's been a big change.
On the women's side, Justice Bozio would be the favourite. Sarah Hammett, really good player. Jazzy Roberts, who continues every single time you see her to get better. Sandbelt Invitational, she was fantastic and arguably the quickest player in golf.
Quicker than Matt Jones?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and when it's a men's and women's event and upper tee,
yeah,
before anyone's moved, she's gone. She's ready to go. So, and the highly ranked, now I'm probably going to butcher this one, but Sayori Ijima of Japan.
I was going to ask you about some international players.
So just outside the top 30 at the moment, but really, really good player.
Had a good history in the Australian amateur Japanese women players.
Won last year.
Last year and maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think so. Or 2 years ago maybe when Kazuma Kobori won because he had to do translation for the women's winner because she didn't speak much English and Kazuma's Japanese is not the best, but it's there. But yeah, get down there and watch that. And
very much so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yarra Yarra, perhaps the best course in the world that has the name repeated as well.
I have played Yarra Yarra and I know it's good. I've never played Wagga Wagga Golf Club, so I couldn't tell you.
I played Everglades.
Lang Lang. It's better than Lang Lang, Woi Woi, Wagga Wagga. I'd say it's better than all of those.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, let's let the listeners let us know.
Absolutely.
Can they think
of another
of
one?
a better course in the world that is like a repeating name?
You're assuming there are still listeners.
Speaking of that, let's give those surviving a break, and that will do us for episode 46 of Playing from the Tips. Rod, some shoes next week would be a pleasure.
All right. Just for you, Jimmy. I'll wear one for you.
No.
Logue.
2 shoes, please.
Yeah. I'm not even going to farewell you.
We're not going to go with shoeless Rod Murray.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I'm not.
No.
I would support something like that normally, but no.
No.
I don't like what it comes with.
No. You can follow along with all of these tournaments and more on the Golf Australia magazine website, golfaustralia.com.au. And you can also, this Thursday, head out and pick up a copy of the February issue of Golf Australia, where there is an exploration of what's next for Live Golf. Kiwi golfer Michael Hendry, one of the best people in golf, speaks about his ongoing battle with leukemia.
Nice.
Brendan James visits and reviews Moona Links, and the 40 courses that just missed the top 100 last month get a little bit of a run. Plus, John Huggan talks to the departing boss of the RNA, Martin Slumbers.
Use that.
Plus a review of Pimble Golf Club.
Is there a review of Pimble Golf Club?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
I didn't do it. Why are you looking at me?
Well, I did it.
Okay. So you actually get out and read if you can review a golf course.
Yeah.
Can review a movie.
Is there a movie in there?
I've done reviews.
What's the movie?
No, there's no movie review.
Oh, does it come to an end?
Maybe.
It's done all the golf movies possible.
I haven't heard from BJ.
I was always
waiting by the phone. He's waiting by the phone. Okay. All right. That will do us, and we will be back next week. Thank you for listening to Playing from the Tips.